Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board meeting of October 17th. I call this meeting to order. The meeting of the Hopkinton Select Board is being held both in person and remotely using the video conference platform Zoom. Do we have Irfan on the Zoom? So far, all the members are in the meeting room, so all members participating in the meeting room are present in the meeting room. The public has the option of attending in person here at Town Hall or via Zoom using the link posted in this meeting's agenda. This meeting is being recorded. If another Select Board member, if Irfan does join us remotely, I will verify that he is able to hear us and we can hear him. And our first order of business is I will entertain a motion to move into executive session.
I move the motion to move to executive session pursuant to MGL C 30A 21A Purpose 3 to consider strategy with respect to negotiations with the fire union, pursuant to MGL C 30A 21A Purpose 6 to consider the purchase, lease, sale, or value of real estate in relation to properties in the vicinity of Town Hall and South Street and parcels owned by Umina of Chestnut Street, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiation position of the board. Approval of executive session minutes to allow Norman Kumalo and Elaine Lazarus to participate in the executive session, to reconvene in open session at the conclusion of executive session.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, roll call vote. Yes,
Oh, because
but it's
it's
executive session, I
Okay.
know.
Mary Jo Lafreniere, yes.
Amy Roberts, yes.
Faisal Manan, yes.
Irfan Asrullah, yes.
Ariel Kramer, yes. Thank you all. We will be back at 6:30. Thank you. We'll call the open session to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, our first order of business is our public forum. Residents are invited to share ideas, opinions, or ask questions regarding town government. We usually ask people to stick to 2 minutes when they speak. Is anybody present who wishes to speak at the public forum? Is there anybody on the Zoom that might wish to speak at the public forum? Okay. All right. The next item of business is the consent agenda. We have one item on the consent agenda, and that is to accept gifts, to consider accepting the following donations to the fire department in the memory of George Thorson Jr. From Tom's Auto Body, $200, from Diane and Joe Regan, $100, from Michael Daly, $50, and Judith Pryor, $100. Can I have a motion?
I move the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Yes, thank you to all the donors. That's right, a lot of donations. Truly appreciate it. Okay, our next order of business is appointments. Do we know of people who are planning to come that we might be ahead of?
Don't know. I know the people who won't be here.
Yeah.
There's 2 letters. We could do the ones that are not.
There's someone here in the room.
Yes. Let's start with the person in the room. How about that? Come on forward. Tell us your name and your address and the position you are applying for. Tell us a little bit about why you'd like to work on the Sustainable Green Committee. Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you for stepping forward, and I think certainly commendable that you are going for the volunteer position and to do good for the environment, for our community. What, in your view, do you see as one of the things you would want to see through this committee happening for the town? Thank you. Excellent. And one other just comment. Again, I appreciate your stepping forward and always encouraged for nice volunteer work that you are anticipating. We do have multiple candidates, so whatever the outcome is, I would request you to stay on it and come back for other positions if it doesn't work out today. And also, we do have 2 other commission positions that might be available. Would you be interested for others if that works out in future? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes, so I want to commend you for stepping forward to, step forward for this volunteer position. I also commend you for your dedication to the environment. Are there any initiatives other than kind of cleaning up? I mean, I'm thinking more long-term for the town of Hopkins and in dealing with climate change. Did you have any kind of thoughts or initiatives on that you'd like to pursue? Excellent. So along the lines of what Mr. Manning had mentioned, we do have other groups that are, not other groups, but, other positions that are available. And one of those is on the Youth Commission. And I think there's a lot of room for collaboration with Sustainable Green and the Youth Commission. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Mary Jo.
Well, I was after I read your resume, you talked about a project you did with the best beetles. Are they local beetles?
Somewhat. They're common down near the Berlin area, but you can't find them.
Okay, because it says they eat wood, and so I was like, there's something in the environment that we have to be worried about?
The project was more so to see how it would impact, because dust beetles are really helpful for finding out when the structure is just falling apart, and they also help with bringing back to the environment. So it isn't as closely related here, since it's pretty rare here. It's only really found out some of the western area of Massachusetts. But it was more focused on like the whole East Coast since
Thank you. I also want to say congratulations on your Life Scout rank.
The only thing I was going to add, Irfan mentioned there was an opening on the Youth Commission, but we have another applicant for that spot, so that one might be gone.
We have
There's two vacancies.
two
But one at-
positions and one application.
Oh, but one has to be a middle school rep, I think.
One is for
Middle school rep, I think. The other Youth Commission one?
No, it's a full member.
There's one full member on the Youth Commission, but the other opening, I thought.
It could be for anyone, it doesn't have to be an adult.
Okay. No, I guess what I'm thinking, it has to be a middle schooler.
I don't think so. No, I don't think.
It was the one that Joshua Jones had, and he moved up when he was a middle school
That
rep,
may
and he
also-
moved up.
That may also be vacant, but there is a full member. Two
I
full
think
members.
there's two full members. Okay. I don't know, my spreadsheet doesn't match.
Uh-oh.
Good.
Did you have any questions?
I don't think I do, it's just that it is a tough choice because all four candidates seem qualified. At the moment, there's only two spots. But it is a big committee and other openings do come up, so.
Yep. So I think we will vote the uncontested ones and see if any of the other folks do come. I think other people weren't able to come. But I wanted to take just a really quick moment to congratulate you. It's hard to come up here and answer all these questions. You did a beautiful job. We appreciate you coming, putting your name forward, and speaking up for yourself. So nicely done.
Very, very nice, yeah.
And Jeff Rowland, the chair of the Green Committee, does have his hand up.
Oh, okay. Somebody on the, no, you're fine. Somebody on the Zoom from the Green Committee?
Hey, folks.
Hi, Jeff.
It's Jeff Rowland. Yes, I can.
Did you want to speak?
I did, thank you. I couldn't be there in person tonight, but I believe that was Tom that was speaking. Unfortunately, that mic wasn't connected to the Zoom, so I have no idea what he said, but I could feel his passion for the topic.
Good resume.
Okay, IT's going to work on that.
IT's on it. Here we go. It's a new system. It's going to improve things, but, baby steps.
Understood, thank you. I just wanted to say I did send in an email recommendation last night. I don't know if you had a chance to check that out. For the four applicants and the two positions, I did provide a recommendation for Carol Essler and Purvi Tiku, given both have been in attending meetings and participating in SGC events for the past few months. Based on that engagement, I think they would be a good fit for the committee. But I don't want to discourage Tom and Nicole as well. Many of our members are people that have attended meetings in the past and been engaged and just waited for a seat to open up. So we could use all the help we can get. Solving the challenges posed by climate change requires all of us to work together.
Great, thank you. Do we want to entertain the appointment to the Veteran Celebration Committee because it's uncontested?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. So I'll personally vouch for Mike Whalen to be
Oh,
reappointed.
yeah. It's exciting. He's been serving so honorably, and have been a great service for the town for so long. Madam Chair, I move to appoint Mike Wallen to the Veteran Celebration Committee to a term expiring June 30, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? And then we have one applicant for the Youth Commission. Does anybody want to make a motion, or?
Sure.
Make a motion to appoint Will Schofield to the Youth Commission for a term expiring June 30th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay. And then, I don't know if we need to wait. We know that Carol can't come. We knew that Purvey can't come. And I don't remember if we heard from Nicole for the Sustainable Green Committee. Does anybody remember if we had heard?
I hadn't heard anything.
I didn't say anything.
So I think that we're often inclined to go with the recommendation of the chair, particularly where these two folks have been engaged in attending. I do very much encourage you, if it goes the way that I suspect, I very much encourage you to attend. It's a committee that is on the move. They are doing all kinds of things, really exciting work, and I know that they can always use volunteers, and very soon you may find yourself with a full position if you don't find one tonight. You never know how these things are going to go. So I'm going to call for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to, and again, this is tough because we have 4 wonderful candidates for 2 positions, and I would also, say the same, that, stay engaged and look for opportunities, and also other committees that interest you. So with that, I move to appoint Carol Isler and Purvi Tikku to the Sustainable Green Committee, 2 terms expiring June 30, 2026.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, just real briefly, I encourage you to attend the meetings, okay? Because, it's the recommendation from Mr. Rowland was based on the fact that these 2 people have been attending the meetings. So keep at it, and we'll get you there.
It's a large committee of 16 people, so we often have openings. So they could, for all we know, there could be another one next month.
Yep. And again, they always have work and opportunities, and when the openings come up, you will know when they are. So we had a second?
Yep.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, thanks, Thomas, and we'll look forward to seeing you back.
Yes. Thank you.
Thomas, make sure you call them and put your name in as a possible volunteer, because sometimes they have special days and they can use
Need more people.
people
We want you back.
at those.
Yeah, we want you back.
Okay, I see that we have our new police officer candidate, but are we waiting for anybody? I know the chief is on Zoom. Are we comfortable going forward? Chicken forward.
Yeah.
Chief, can you hear us? We'll just wait one moment. We'll be patient because I think that our tech support is working. Thanks, Ben. Oops. Okay. Chief, can you hear us?
Yes, Madam Chair, I can.
Okay.
And through you, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please go ahead and introduce.
Sure. I'm very excited to be here tonight to introduce you to Brian. Brian is our most recent candidate that I bring before you. I want to thank Director Casey for her staff and team that does all the work to help us to bring these candidates forward. I'd also like to thank Sergeant O'Neill for representing in uniform the department. Brian has, clearly from his resume, you see he has an outstanding education. He comes to us with experience from both the campus and the college setting, campus and hospital setting. And we've had great success with officers who come from that background. I'm really excited to introduce him to you. Maybe Director Casey, could you just speak a little bit to how we got here tonight?
Sure, absolutely. Brian was considered and had gone through the process as every other police officer does. His first round panelists were Officers Beloin, McKeon, Van Ralton, and HR Generalist Kristen Merrill. And the second round panelists were Chief Bennett and HR Jessica Leverance.
Great, thank you. Usually we ask a few questions, so I hope that you don't mind. Officer O'Neill, did you want to say something? Or? Okay, you're just here representing. We appreciate it. Okay. So Brian, I'll start. Tell us a little bit about why Hopkinton is an important opportunity for you.
I'd just like to say thank you for having me here tonight. Hopkinton is a town that I've closely looked at since I've wanted to try to make the jump to the municipality setting. It's clearly a town that's invested in its people, spending money. It's evident by the public schools being voted the best in the state for the district. Myself, I just started a family. My wife and I are very keen on making sure that we can provide for our children and put them in a place that will foster them to grow and learn and to be amongst a lot of different people. And that's something that I put a premium price on. Not just with my own personal family, but also the environments that I work at, so that I can experience a lot of different things in life and try to make everything that's good even better when I step in there.
Thank you so much. I do have a question, and it's kind of like a public service question. I see on your resume that you are post-certified. Would you just explain to the public what that means?
With everything that's happened within the last few years, unfortunately, the state went ahead and created the post-certification process. So every department that has sworn personnel patrolling the streets or in an administrative setting, essentially what that does is validates every officer that works for a department, making sure that their records are up to par, there's no disciplinary issues, that there's people that are performing the functions for a department that should be there, and essentially it's about transparency. It's another big thing of why I wanted to be in Hopkinton. The whole process from start to finish so far up until this point has been great communication, been told what's going on, and that's something that speaks volumes to me, and I hope that if I'm fortunate enough, that's something I can carry out to the citizens that I interact with on a daily basis.
Thank you so much for that. Congratulations on your new family, and thank you for your service, and I will ask Shahidul if he has any questions.
Sure. Thank you, and I appreciate your interest in choosing Hopkinton. You have a really wonderful resume, and I'm going through this. You have so many wonderful accolades and training and education. Glad to have you as our prime candidate. The question I have is, this is a lot community policing, of course, in a wonderful town that we are in. If you are hired as a police officer, Hopkinton police officer, what steps would you take to build trust and legitimacy with your fellow police officers and the community in Hopkinton?
Some of the key points that I hope to be able to provide as an officer for the town, I really rely on the prior experiences that I've had, be that I've worked for a few different other departments. I've been very fortunate to have great role models from where I've come from and been able to learn from them and hopefully bring that forward to here as well. On top of that, my time in the service, that's taught me that teamwork is paramount. So for those reasons, I'm hoping to really build a strong rapport and relationship with my fellow officers that I'll be working alongside of, and to hopefully take in, like I said, everything that they already know about the ins and outs of the town, and hopefully, kind of take it and run with it. And, if there's things that I think I might be able to help, positions that may be open or different trainings that are available, hopefully take those and also further continue what the department's trying to do about filling those gaps within society and trying to show that, they're making the effort to really bridge that gap that people may or may not think that the trust with the department is there.
Thank you, very thoughtful. Thank you.
Irfan, do you have any questions?
Yeah. I want to thank you for your service. I've gone through your resume. It's very impressive, particularly your job and your deployment and your other certifications. And I note here that you had the mental health achievement. So that kind of leads me to my question, which is, what are your views regarding, number one, restorative justice, 2, court diversion programs, and 3, crisis intervention teams to help people experiencing mental and behavioral health emergencies?
Those are definitely interesting issues that unfortunately are seeming to become more prevalent in society today. That said, I've been, like I said, very fortunate that I've worked at some really great places that have placed an emphasis on not necessarily coming down and enforcing the letter of the law, but more the approach of an individual may be needing assistance with other issues that are ongoing, and that may be an issue of why we may have an encounter to deal with somebody. That being said, I've been very lucky to attend different types of trainings that have placed an emphasis on de-escalation, recognizing signs of mental health issues going on with an individual, what types of steps correlate to that person, whether, if it's a medical side, if it's something that it's a medication issue. Just been very fortunate to get training in those areas to kind of recognize and see things that may give me the tools and time to recognize that this is a situation where we can slow down, we can really talk to the person, see what's going on, hopefully not have to use a forced situation, which can be, on the news, unfortunately, today. So I've been, again, very lucky to have been afforded the opportunities to attend trainings for those types of things, and I'm very glad that I have, again, because it's how prevalent it's becoming today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And, we're asking our police officers to do a lot, from not only, patrol, but, to know how to deal with a mental health crisis. So that kind of training, I think, is invaluable. I really appreciate that.
Amy and Mary Jo?
Yeah, you are a university police officer, and I know how difficult that can be sometimes. What kind of situation have you found yourself in that you were able to resolve amicably?
One of the...
No names mentioned, of course.
Of course. One of the more recent calls that I've had, a call for service, being that I currently work in an urban area in a city, we have a lot of different people that are passing through, just because there's a lot of different public transportation options that are available within the footprint of where I work. So it may be people that are affiliated with a school, not affiliated with the school, people that live within the neighborhood. But in this particular case, there were juveniles involved that were using one of the transit systems. One of those juveniles in question, unfortunately, was intoxicated by a substance. Obviously, everyone understands how detrimental that can be to somebody's health. That juvenile wasn't really understanding what was going on. They were with a group of friends. The friends were obviously concerned, trying to figure out what to do. So it was kind of a stressful moment, trying to figure out what they could do for their friend. Luckily, myself and the other officers that were able to respond to that call were able to give reassurances to the juvenile and to the friends that were there with them. We're not here to give anybody a hard time. Our main priority and concern is for your friend's well-being. We want to make sure that they're getting the medical attention that they need that's necessary. We can get them to where they need to go, whether it be a hospital, have another guardian come get them. And again, I worked with very great people, and I was very fortunate that call was able to kind of culminate in that everyone was able to talk to all the parties that were there and stress the importance of we're not here to create issues, we're here to just make sure that everybody's okay. We were able to get that individual in question the help that they needed. We were able to get them to the hospital.
Thank you very much.
This one's not been asked yet. So, the town of Hopkinton, like a lot of other towns, has adopted the pledge principles and actions on systemic racism in our community and other communities. And that pledge reaffirms Hopkinton's ongoing commitment to address systemic racism, social injustice, and inequity in our governance and provision of services to Hopkinton residents and businesses. In what ways, as a police officer, can you support the pledge in Hopkinton?
One of the, I think, best ways that I can support the pledge by the town and by the department is just first and foremost being accountable for the actions that I take on a daily basis as a patrol officer. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I am the image of the town. I'm responsible for how the town is viewed, and I'm responsible for myself. So by placing an emphasis on those areas, I only want to portray the town as a welcoming, inclusive, intrinsic value place. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's treated as if they're my own family member. I want to make sure that everyone's getting the best outcome possible that they have if they have an encounter with me. I treat every situation as if it's my wife or my kids, because that's the type of treatment that I would want if I was a citizen of the town itself from the officers. On top of that, I think transparency is a big thing as well. If somebody's not happy with the way that I've dealt with a situation, obviously I'm open to criticism. I would love for any citizen to tell me, hey, this is how you dealt with a situation. This is how I would like to also seen it go. And if they maybe not feel comfortable to do that on a personal setting, I would strongly recommend them to send a letter to the department and kind of go over the events of the call itself. So those are two of the things that I think that I can do on a personal level to keep myself accountable and be, transparent with my actions and try to help contribute towards fulfilling that pledge.
Great, thank you.
So thank you very much. You do have a very impressive resume, and you did a great job, in my estimation, on all those questions, and you've made it through the hiring gauntlet. It's an extensive process, so we appreciate this opportunity. I don't know if you would like to make the motion, Abdul?
Madam Chair, I move to appoint Brian Zinnett as a police officer for the town of Hopkinton.
Second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations. Welcome to
Congratulations.
Hopkinton.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's an obligatory picture.
Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Oh, you too.
Yes, it's in the day I will never forget.
Oh, there we go. All right, everybody looking at me. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Okay, Chief, the next item is just a brief update on the two items, the departmental review and the school resource officer update.
Yeah, those are two.
Sure. Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity to give a quick update on that. Both projects are moving forward. I'm very pleased with the collaboration with the school and youth and family service and all the team members in preparing for and I come before you and review some of the talking points that you've discussed and outlined for us, and also be available to answer any questions that might arise. As far as the department review, we're still working on scope and service. We're in communication with a couple of vendors and hope to move pretty soon with us through the selection.
Great. I think the SRO discussion is going to be with the school committee on the 26th, just for the purposes of the public's information. Do I have that right? Is it the 26th or so?
Yes, through the chair, yes, you're correct.
And Youth and Family Services would be there as well, right?
Mr. Kamalo?
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay. We're having a tiny
lag,
bit of a lag. Sorry if it's a little awkward. Thanks, Chief. Okay, so that's good news. October 26th will be the discussion about the SRO program. And I think the next order of business, Chief, is your goals for FY24?
Yes, Madam Chair. So I put forward my goals. Certainly where we are in law enforcement across the nation, it really is about the people, both the people in the building and the community. So as we continue to engage the community and get our officers out there and build that trust and relationship, that's a primary focus of every police department right now across the country, and certainly is of your department. And so that's my first goal is community engagement. And what we do with community engagement is we build trust, and that's what we want. And we want to be approachable. We want people to know officers individually, and we're going to continue to build that, which is something we've always been very strong with. But in today's environment, and with all of our new residents coming in, it's first and foremost on my list. And then it's the people in the building, and we got to continue to bring forward people like Brian, and to bring the new officers into the fold, and to teach them our culture and our values, and that's the second goal. And the third goal is development of our staff, which if we're going to retain our staff and we're going to build succession and build teams and culture, then we gotta invest in our staff. So those are my three goals. I think they focus on really the most important things that are going on today in the country, as well as, of course, there's lots of other work going on down the police station. We've talked before about this, all the other, accreditation and standards and policy development and all the other projects that we have going on. But as far as from me, I feel the community, this is how I can best push the department forward.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Shadow, go ahead.
Thank you, Chief. I think these are really good goals and very relevant, and something very much needed, or is always needed for a community like us, for a town like us, and for a wonderful department that we have for us to continue the excellence. Two things I wanted to kind of clarify or add, and I think you mentioned one of those, so I think it's clear now. For number two, I would like to add recruitment and retention as well. We definitely want to also motivate, promote, and retain our talents. And I know it's kind of embedded in there, so that's something just to point out. And on the third one, I think you mentioned it, I also thought that promotion and professional development along with that to support and ensure succession planning for all levels within your organization. But I love the goals. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the goals are great. I think that's where we need to be focused. One thing that does come to mind with regard to the promotional and professional development is also kind of departmental policy review at various junctures of promotions.
Okay. Yeah, we have spoken about that, and I've spoken a little bit about the accreditation process. We're moving into to be reaccredited under the 6 standards. So we're actually touching many, many policies, and through that opportunity and through work with Director Casey, you can anticipate a work on that topic as well.
Mm-hmm. When I say review, not like trying to develop policy, I'm just saying kind of reinforcing it with other officers. These are our policies and how we expect you to behave.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and thanks for the opportunity to share with you. So one of the things that we've done is we've invested in a software platform that allows us to share our policies, have officers sign out. We can generate tests on policies. But one of the most recent things that happened is the Accreditation Commission has adopted our vendor. So when accreditation time comes, the vendors can go in our back of our system and see the policy, the standard that is expected to meet, and what we call proofs. So if you have a policy, you qualify once a year on a specific MPTC course, you'd be able to see the policy, the standards by the commission that dictate what must be inside that particular policy, as well as we would have a roster of qualifications in there, and that will go through all the policies. And so we're fortunate that the vendor we selected was selected by the state.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Mary Jo?
I don't really have any questions right now.
Yeah, I think those seem like good goals. I just had process questions. So I think last year, so after we approve these goals, you'll write up the stretch goals with the SMART, you'll have a worksheet on each one with different steps that you'll take on them. But first is the process, first we approve the overall goals, right? Is that, and then,
yes.
And then you write up more detail.
Yeah, how we get there would be is the next phase.
Okay, I think these seem like good goals looking back at your last year's goals. These are different, but things we need to work on. So I think that looks great to me. And then at a future meeting, we can talk in more detail. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
I wanted to call out your department's event on Friday, speaking about getting out into the community and working at building relations and so forth. So the after-school event for young people on the early release day that's coming up. I don't know if you want to speak to it a little bit and tell us a little bit more about it, or.
Sure. So we're really excited to take advantage of the opportunity to have all the students downtown and in the common and celebrate that time. And Senator Van Ralton and SRO Santoro have been working with the merchants downtown and to bring in some food and some activities for them. It's going to be really exciting, and everybody's looking forward to it in the department. And I'm hearing good things from the community as well.
That's wonderful. Do you have volunteers supporting this with you, or do you?
So the officers will go help, and there'll be tables and food give out food, and a couple of vendors are coming in with some activities for them. And really, it's this idea was hatched, and the team's just been running with it. I would be remiss if I took even any bit of credit for it. They've just run with it, and it's heartwarming to see how they've embraced this.
Well, I look forward to it. I think that it's going to be, I think it'll be wonderful, actually. I think it's a great idea, and I think the young people are going to be excited about it. And I'm really excited to hear that local businesses and vendors are participating with you. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. The Chamber of Commerce and vendors, and it's kind of a townwide project that's going really well.
I would echo the same, Chief. This is very creative and exactly how we want to see our community police and everyone coming together to do, good for the community. Wonderful idea. And my daughter especially, I can tell, very excited. Instead of going to CVS, they have plenty of places to go now. So thank you for doing this.
It sounds like fun. Can select board members join?
Of course. Always welcome.
All right. Well, thank you and good luck on Friday. I think it's going to be a great event. Look forward to it, and I'll look forward to hearing about it. And I appreciate the goals, and we'll look forward to hearing more about them in the next little while.
Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Okay. The next order of business is special town meeting. I don't know if Mr. Kamalo wants to liven up and say anything, or?
Through the chair, in your packet, we included the special town meeting timeline. We also included 3 prospective articles. They include the Elmwood School replacement, adopting the municipal opt-in specialized stretch energy code proposed by the Sustainable Green Committee, and then thirdly, approving the legislative petition to eliminate political caucus and local election ballots with printed political affiliation for town elected officers. This is a citizen's petition. In addition to these 3, I am suggesting tonight that the Select Board consider adding 2 articles. One is related to acquiring land for parking in the vicinity of Town Hall. And the second one is acquiring land abutting or in the vicinity of South Street for open space purposes.
Okay, and just as a reminder to the community, special town meeting is going to be November 13th. The warrant does close tomorrow, I believe. I think first I'll entertain a motion to add an article to special town meeting warrant to support the purchase of a parcel or parcels off of South Street.
Second.
So moved.
So moved.
And second, Mary Jo. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I'll entertain a motion to add an article to special town meeting warrant to support the purchase of parcels or parcels in the vicinity of Town Hall for the purposes of parking.
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we potentially have five articles on special town meeting. Any questions about special town meeting?
I did. I wanted to ask, are we still planning to do it in the middle school, correct? I'm trying to spread the word about it, but it's better if I know the date, time, and place. Even
Yes.
though,
Yes.
we don't officially sign it until next week, but
So,
middle school.
so the middle school at 7 p.m. on November 13th. Special town election is a Monday? Yes. Tuesday. It is a Tuesday?
It is a Tuesday? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Because it was originally,
Is the election this a Tuesday? Or, sorry, hold on.
The election
Yeah.
is the 28th.
What's it?
oh, I'm sorry, special town meeting is a Monday,
That is correct.
November
The
13th.
meeting is a Monday. The election
Is a-
is a Tuesday. That's so that we didn't have to set up over Thanksgiving weekend.
Very, very clever. Awesome. Yep, well played.
Okay, so still planning on middle school, and the other, the warrant is still open until tomorrow afternoon, right? So we have 5
Tomorrow's the last
articles
day.
potentially now. There could be more. Well, seems like we would have heard of it by now, but. Okay.
Anybody else have any questions on special town meeting at this point?
No, we
In-
don't
in-
order today, right? Tonight?
I'm sorry, say it again?
We don't do the sequence of the warrants
No,
tonight?
no. Mr. Kamal, did you want to say something?
Yeah, in fact, through the chair, Connor, I had to put you on the spot. It may be helpful just to make a preliminary update to the community that we are considering electronic voting.
Oh, that would be news.
Okay. So the type where we would bring our own device or where you would hand out devices?
I would gladly explain. Through the chair, we are looking into having provided devices for folks where we would have fobs, clickers, that you would come in and upon check-in, you could receive one. If you're leaving the hall, then you would have to turn in your clicker. And so we would get plenty of them. there's a big price point on it, but we figure we're going to save so much time when it comes to trying to count the number of people we'll have there, which will undoubtedly, for an article like this, come down to a physical count. And honestly, having the capability to do a secret ballot for it as well could make a lot of people feel more comfortable when it comes to casting a vote that makes the vote their conscience as well.
Well, that's an interesting thing. So it would be, by virtue of these clickers, a secret ballot?
Yes, so there's no way we wouldn't be assigning them to individual voters. The only time you actually have to do that is if they are representatives, but because everyone at open town meeting is voting for themselves, they do not need to vote as a representative.
Oh, fascinating. So this is news to all of us. So how many are you planning to buy, and how much are we planning to spend?
It would be a rental, and so we would likely end up getting, the one we looked at was about 2,000, just because we realistically have to be ready for a lot of people, and that still puts us above the majority of times in the past where we've had large turnouts. That gives us still some wiggle room on it. And so we're looking at this being, I know it was probably around 14,500 for the night, and that was on the cheaper end.
Wow.
And there are a lot of towns that do just include this, obviously, for all of them. And I mean, it could be something that if we see in this situation that we like it, we might look into a way to doing it in the future. But I mean, this is a good way to see if we want it.
And you think we'll be
Hold
ready
on one
for
second.
this
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Did we do historical numbers? Because I think the high school vote many years ago, as it was bigger than 2,000, but I'm not sure.
It was not. I went back and looked at historic meeting votes. Our largest in recent history was the Legacy Farms vote,
Yep.
Whether or not to purchase it, and that was around 1,300.
Oh, okay. Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, Shadu.
Yeah, no, just question is, do you think we could be ready for this with a special town meeting timeline?
Yeah, if we want to do this for the special town meeting, it's just a case of working out the logistics, and we should be good to do it. I'm working closely with the town manager's office to see how realistic it's going to be, but the goal is to hopefully give it a whirl for this coming meeting, if possible.
Excellent.
Very exciting.
It sounds awfully steep. Right? 2,000 units. Did you say $14,000? That's $700 a clicker.
The competitor is 21,000.
It just sounds like an awful lot of money.
I mean, yeah, no, and I mean, a lot of the vendors, not to get into the weeds on it, I'll try not to get too deep into them, but a lot of them will do things like provide, if you want to sign on for a multi-year contract with them, then they'll decrease the price, or they'll have like a larger amount for night one and each subsequent night is a little bit lower. But it all varies on the company, and we went to a few different ones to get quotes and went with the lowest quote for a one-night town meeting.
And did you also check the purchase options, if we have any break even within like 3 meetings or 5 minutes?
So for purchase options, no, right now we're only looking at just the rental. We're not looking at doing the purchase at the moment, especially if we don't know if the town wants to stick with that. If we did, the other thing that we run into, if we do decide to purchase it, we would have to then be responsible for maintenance, replacement, and potential upgrade in the future of any of it versus this. Yeah, we pay more year in, year out, but it means that we don't have to worry if there's an upgrade in the technology or if they replace all of their clickers or anything like that. A few of these companies we looked at are very commonly used in even some of our surrounding towns.
I'll look this way. Do you have any questions, Irfan?
No, just a comment. I mean, it seems to me as though the rent option is the way to go, as it seems to be an emerging technology. It's going to be developing, and it's only going to get better. So, kind of let the technology develop itself, and then we make our move. It's still, I agree though, it sounds high.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
For a special, yeah,
70,
special rating.
700.
70. 70? No?
Two, yeah, you're right.
There's a little-
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think we do have to go with the rental for one time, because the last time we tried this, it didn't work, and people didn't like it. And now everybody's talking about doing it again, and I think just to be fair to the public, we have got to, at some point, try this and see if it works, and maybe the wave of the future. And I think it's exciting. It's expensive, but it's exciting.
So, and if I might too, I mean, this technology, unlike the one that we did last time, the one we did last time, we saved a lot of money because we didn't have to worry about anything with equipment, other than we rented a few of the tablets that came through, but equipment wasn't the issue because the majority of voters would have their own equipment. In this case, I mean, this is your standard system. I mean, Congress uses this to track their votes. And so, I mean, this is a very standard system, and the way that it works is standard, but to your point, the technology is improving constantly as we go on.
Yeah, I think this is great, and I do agree a rental is the way to start, see if we like it, see if we like this brand. And then there's less, of course, if a better model comes out next year, if we've only rented it, we can use the next, if we like it, we can get the better model next time. If they become obsolete or they don't meet security standards or something. So I think, although it does sound very expensive, I do think we need to try it. People want this.
One of the follow-up quickly, you may,
Hold on.
sorry.
Are you all set?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think I support trying this out. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
Oh, no, I do.
Yeah,
The other thing was about this, I didn't realize it could be secret ballot that way. I'm not sure how you feel about that, because I thought that was part of town meeting, that it's out in the open and everybody can see when people stand up. But-
Is there anything we have to, I wondered about that too, because in order to do a secret ballot, there's a whole process about having a vote ahead of time. Is there any additional setup or votes that have to happen in order to allow for quote-unquote secret vote?
No, actually, this actually makes the process of a secret ballot easier, because at any point, a member of town meeting can call for a secret ballot as a motion that can then be voted through, and then that requires us to file everyone out of the room, recheck everybody in, and give them a ballot, and then proceed. This allows us to just continue. Now, if we want, we can also just proceed with, based on the moderator's discretion, just do a voice count. So for ones that don't require a 2/3, if we think that it's going to be just quick unanimous vote, we can just keep on going. However, the big difference is this can turn what could be half an hour of us counting and trying to compare numbers into 5 minutes of everyone take out your clicker and press the button.
Hopefully it's foolproof. When I know
Tried and true.
nothing is foolproof, but I presume that there is a mechanism for correcting if somebody says, oh, geez, I voted the wrong way.
I believe you get the option to basically change it up until the close. So usually the moderator, in most towns that do this, the moderator announces that, okay, we're going to open voting. At this point, please cast your vote. It will be open for 5 minutes. At the close, once you get into the 1 minute mark, okay, we have 1 minute left. Please finish up your votes. Okay, ballot's closed. Let's flash up the numbers on the screen. Okay. So in many cases, we can get it all integrated so we could look at what the results are as we go.
Great, thank you. Hold on one second. Shahidul had a follow-up question. I'll come back.
The follow-up I had was, did we explore an app option without the device? Now with emerging technology, that's also improving and becoming more trustworthy and being used, and that is likely much more cost-effective.
We did in 2018, and we received mixed. We received about 50-50 kind of feedback on it. And so there was a lot of discussion on it, and we weren't sure if, for just PR purposes, if that was the way to move forward. If the board would want us to move forward with a system like we looked at before, we can definitely look at that. But we figured there were some hiccups that we faced, and we didn't want to run the risk with kind of the bad taste that was left in people's mouths for when we had to abandon the pilot. Now, granted, it was a pilot. It was expected things could go, different ways, and it was their first time doing an open town meeting, which is also why we got a bargain on even just getting them in for the pilot.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think, you're right. Building the credibility and adoption is the first goal. So for that, whatever works better, if the device, gives them better standard feeling and trustworthy feeling, let's go with that. But you're talking about 5 years. 5 technology years is like 50 man years. Decades have passed in the...
And we can always keep exploring the options and keep looking at it. And if we decide, I know, a lot of people have seen, I know some of the people up there have seen votes in working out in the world since 2018 is a different technology than it was then. Yeah. Open town meeting just presents different challenges that hopefully they would have learned from, but I don't know. We haven't approached them on that at this point. But it doesn't mean that the door is closed.
Thank you. This is exciting.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I just want to say this should make 2/3 votes much easier. Either yes or no, if you count them. And
as long as
we
it's
don't
not
have all the standing count and pre-count and all that, so I hope it works.
Yeah. So I think this is a surprise to all of us, not to you. So I think that I hope we get some early feedback from the public, how they feel about it, certainly.
Absolutely.
Right? And then I think that we should probably have a demonstration before special town meeting, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm sure we can talk to the vendor and see if we can get a demo going.
Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, thank you for bringing a new idea forward, and I hope it's fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Oh, not really the electronic voter, but the special town meeting. The last town meeting, you had an electronic form for people who needed to request accommodations beyond what we're already providing. And I noticed that link is still active. Is it okay to still give that same link out?
Yeah, we're going to use that.
Because I gave it to a couple people because it worked, and then I realized I hadn't asked.
Yep. Yeah, we are still using it, so you're good on that one.
Okay.
And if you have any other questions going forward on this too, as we move forward, because it is new for you, don't hesitate to reach out to me, or Elaine is working on it with me as well, so we can both answer questions hopefully that you might have going forward on it too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move on from the special town meeting?
Yes.
Do we need a motion on setting the ballot question for Elmwood School?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, someone. Where is it here?
That's right.
Yeah, so that would be great to have the ballot question. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move to set the ballot question for the Elmwood School project as follows. Shall the town of Hopkinton be allowed to exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2 and 1/2, so-called, the amounts required to pay for the bonds issued in order to design, construct, and furnish the new Hopkinton Elmwood Elementary located on the Hayden Row site at 147 Hayden Row for 1,195 students in grades 2 to 4, inclusive of all building mechanical systems along with associated site work improvements.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you for catching that, Irfan. Appreciate that.
Vote to do the 2 articles.
We did.
Are we all set on special town meeting, Mr. Khumalo, in that case?
I believe, yes, we've covered all topics under special town meeting.
Okay. The next item of business was going to be strategic planning framework, but I think we're going to push that off to a future meeting to allow Mr. Manan to do a little bit more prep and maybe end early so Mr. Khumalo can get some rest. Since he's working working sick.
If I may, sorry, through the chair.
Yes.
Understanding that the board will not be discussing this topic, I still would like the board to agree on a date for an all boards meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All boards meeting.
Do we have dates to choose from, or is there a favorite date?
We we're looking at mid-November. If there's any date that works well for the board, mid-November.
And we have the budget calendar. I think I have somewhere.
If not, the board could also consider first week in December.
Okay, so the week of November 6th through 10th, or 13th through 17th? Is that
Yes.
that's what you're looking at? I
Yes.
am traveling the 15th, 16th, and 17th, so it would be challenging for me, but maybe the 13th. When are our regular meetings? Is that
Yeah.
The 14th.
the 14th? Is
Though
our
with that in mind,
28th.
yeah.
the 14th?
How about 13?
Does
With
the,
that in mind, would the board consider then the first week in December?
well, I'm wondering, does the 13th potentially work?
Oh, our special town
Oh.
meeting is on 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that on your
right.
calendar,
There you go. Probably.
First week in
How about
December.
20th?
Would be a faux pas if I didn't show up, huh? So that actually bumps us into Thanksgiving week, right?
Yes.
So,
What about the week after Thanksgiving?
First week in December.
He keeps saying the first week of December.
I'm gone first week of December.
me
We
too.
have a meeting on the 28th.
27th, is that?
Can
Okay.
can we do it the week following Thanksgiving, the 29th or 30th?
Wednesday, is that Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, I could do either of those.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do
Say
Yes.
The 29th.
Or 30th?
Yeah, the 29th. I'm looking at the town calendar. The 29th
So many things to look at.
is 29th is open.
Oh, maybe we
So shall we
Snack
try
that
for the
meeting.
29th?
Please.
Okay. All right, we have selected a winning date. November 29th at 6?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Do we need a motion or?
You don't need a vote on that, it's just finding a date,
no.
right?
Yes. No need for a motion.
All right, thank you very much. Anything
Thank you.
else? Anything else on that?
29th at 6, we said, right?
Yep. I've got these dates in my calendar.
Remember, it's an all woods meeting, so
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, the next order of business, Mr. Khumalo, is the town manager report.
Thank you. Main Street Corridor Project. Over the past perhaps 4 weeks, we have received very helpful information from town residents as well as board members regarding how we can best prepare the project site for the winter season. So in your packet, we included responses that have been compiled by the project team in terms of how to address those issues that have come to our attention, including having proper signage, identifying places where we can indicate parking spaces, handicap parking spaces, as well as making sure that we do not have any objects obstructing any of the sidewalk area that may present access issues or challenges. So I encourage residents to review the responses that we've put together. And if there are any other suggestions, anything that we've missed, please feel free to reach out to Michelle Maddock or Dave Del Torio. And then in terms of the PFAS filtration system, construction is now underway. We included in the packet, I believe, in fact, in the press release, we included pictures of the foundation work that is ongoing. We've also approved change order number 2, which funds fencing modifications to improve access to the facility for maintenance and repairs. Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, MWRA, Southborough Interconnection Project. We had our negotiation meeting with Southborough yesterday. It was a very productive meeting. We agreed on a two-step process. First step would be to have Tim O'Leary sit down with John Butler to work through the costing model that we are now reviewing. Following that, which would be phase two, would be to pass that information to our legal teams, who will then finalize a draft IMI for the board's consideration.
Great, thank you.
Good progress. Yep.
Do you have any questions, Sean?
Not particularly on these. I think these are all good progress and updates. Thank you for that. Did we get any more update on the water discoloration issue across the town that's been happening? And last time we didn't know the ETA.
Yes, we have engaged a consultant who has promised to have some draft plan for the town's consideration in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Thank you. That certainly is a good step to get more expertise. But in the meantime, is it still not resolved? The residents are impacted. If so, do we know how many and what can we do to relieve their pain in the meantime?
I thought I saw that we were, an update from Eric that we were running clear.
Is it all clear?
The hydrants are running clear, so do we know if that means that residents are mostly running clear or are running clear?
Yeah, for the most part, yes. The discoloration issue appears to have cleared. However, as we have seen over the past 6 or 8 months, it's been hit or miss depending on what issue comes up. For example, we may have higher rainfall, and when that happens, the issue comes back.
Yeah. And it's been pretty dramatic. Residents are rightly elevating their concerns about it.
So, so glad to hear it's resolved for now, and we have a long-term consultant engaged for a long-term solution. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Yep.
And the water department has been sending out tips for residents, like now that the hydrants are running clear, they need to run both their cold and hot water to make sure their taps are running clear, and to turn off their irrigation systems for the fall, because this could be contributing to the problem.
Right, it's not irrigation.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah.
And it's for environmental reasons, I think we can turn off irrigation now.
We've had lots of rain. Who
Yeah,
is
lots of rain.
irrigating their lawn?
Didn't even turn on mine.
Well, I practice tough love on my lawn. It has
Yes,
to
me too.
want to grow.
Good idea.
I don't know. Anything else?
For the downtown project, one of the things, it's not on the most recent list I sent. I know I sent you guys a lot of emails, but the Cookie Corner monument plaque has not been reinstalled yet on the Doughboy Island. So just add that to the punch list, because it looks like the grass has been seeded, so it seems like it could go in.
Thank you.
Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I ran into someone the other night, a young woman with a family and children, and she said she wasn't buying her water, she was boiling it. So again, I went over that PFAS is not a bacteria, it's not something you can boil away. Boiling it only makes it more concentrated. And so she said she was going to go back and buy some water. So I'm just repeating, because people still don't get it, don't know what they have to do for PFAS.
Right, it's new for us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks, Mary Jo. Any other questions for Mr. Kamalo?
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Kamalo.
Thank you.
Get some rest.
Yes,
Yeah,
get some
feel
rest is
better.
right. And any liaison reports or board invites? Go ahead.
I have a few.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, from the library received $20,000 Library Services and Technology Act grant through the Board of Library Commissioners.
Wow, nice.
So that's great news. The grant called Access for All will allow us to do a sensory audit of the building, purchase assistive technology for those with hearing and sight impairments, an adaptive wheelchair that can be used on the trails for our Library of Things, and much more. So everyone's thrilled and great effort, and kudos to the library for obtaining this and great works ahead.
That's awesome.
From the Board of Health, where I'm also liaison, one big item or event coming up Monday, October 30, 2023, starting at 6 p.m. They will hold a public hearing at Hopkinton Senior Center to hear, accept comments, and to consider adoption of Hopkinton Biosafety Regulation. And copies of the regulation are available on the website. And a big congratulations to the Hopkinton Department of Health on their outstanding performance. In a recent Massachusetts Department of Health report, they have demonstrated an impressive accomplishment in meeting the established performance standards. These data represent a health department's self-reported ability to meet the performance standards for the local public health. So kudos, and we are one of the top town getting these performance grades. So kudos to our health department and all the volunteers and everyone. Wonderful work. And then for ESPC, there is a open forum going on tonight with Legacy Farm and Neighborhood, and there is another one coming on the 24th in high school, and I think there was one that was held last week, and all these are going well in promoting and also providing the information to the town residents at all levels. And then last, this is not exactly a liaison report, but the HCA is putting out a big weekend bash for celebration of Halloween. They have Monster Mash, 5K Wicked Run, Wicked Pickleball, and the Haunt. And this will go from October 27th, Friday, through Sunday. So,
Awesome.
a lot going on.
A lot going on.
A lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Shahadul.
I have one. Such is putting on an event with support from its esteemed sponsors, including the Mass Cultural Council. They are proud to host Rhythms and Raga, a cultural festival with South Asian eats and beats. That's going to be on October 28th at 5:30.
At the Doubletree Hotel.
Doubletree in Westboro.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yep.
It's awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a couple. So CPC, their deadline for applications has passed, so they have a meeting this week to begin reviewing all those, all the submissions for next year's town meeting. Planning Board sent me, they do appoint some committees themselves, so I believe there's at least one opening on both Design Review Board and Zoning Advisory Committee, if anybody's interested in those. And then Permanent Building Committee, I haven't had an update from, but because I think, I'll try to reach out to them again, because I think with the Elmwood and Center Schools, what's going to happen with them, people will have questions about that at town meeting, so I'll see if they have an update. And the MAPC, their fall meeting is coming up next week, so I can give you an update after that.
Great. Mary Jo?
Well, I don't have very much. I know that I haven't had an answer yet from my letter from the VA, but 4 of us in the town are meeting on Friday to try to discuss what we can do as a town to celebrate the 100th, starting with the Boston Marathon. Someone from 26.2, someone from the Marathon Committee, myself, and Arts Cultural Council. So
Very nice.
let's hope we come up with something
I'm
good.
sure you will. I'm sure you will. Some great minds on that. Okay. I don't have anything particularly, most of what I have is business that's come before the board. Certainly the school committee's initiatives, our special town meeting centers prominently in the budget process coming forward. And Mr. Khumalo, do you have an update? The next step in the fire chief search process was I'm not, it's like some sort of, I can't remember the right terminology. It's separate from us. They're going through, the candidates are going through a process. Do you have an update on that? It's okay if you don't. I just wondered if we did.
Yes, the process is called an assessment center.
Assessment center, that's what it is.
Yes, there will be different stations where at each station a distinct scenario will be set up for the candidates to engage in. There will be evaluators observing the process. HR, myself, will also be in attendance. A report will be compiled from that assessment center, gauging and reporting on each candidate's performance. That report will make it into the final report to be shared with the select board.
Do we have a date for it?
The date was moved to, if you give me 1 second. This is the date. Yeah, the new assessment date is Thursday, November 9.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to mention I went by the fire station this weekend, and they had an open house.
All right.
And they had the trucks out front, and it looked like there were some people inside walking around, and I hope they had a successful open house. But they look good from the outside.
It's always fun. It's especially fun for the kids to.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any future agenda items to add to our list? Which, by the way, we have crushed.
Two, I think we had that. I don't have the list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the PFAS one from
Oh,
you. It's the
okay.
only one that's still there.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I was going to refer to. Yep. PFAS and economic.
Oh, is it, are they both there? I'm sorry.
No, I don't see that, but those are something I wanted to add to the agenda.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened there. Nothing
Yeah,
nefarious.
yeah.
Okay, so I will, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Wait.
I have one more.
Yep.
I am announcing the release of the 4/23/2019 executive session minutes.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Madam Chair, I move the motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you all. Get some rest, Mr. Kamalo.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care, Norman.